Well, hello, I am Susan Campbell. I will speak loudly. If I stop speaking loudly, wave your hand, cup your ear, say, please speak up. I tend to be able to keep a loud voice, but sometimes I forget, drift into my normal everyday voice. So today we're going to talk about declutter, downsize, and dispose of this stuff. And I work for Woody Funeral Home, Nelson Funeral Home, and the 5 Big 50 cemeteries. And you're probably thinking right now, I was considering downsizing, but I wasn't considering downsizing quite that much. I've worked in the senior care professions for about 20 years, and this is something that I've done for a while and enjoy talking about. My friend Donnie here works with me, and he is called a pre-planning advisor. We have some information in the back, both about downsizing and also about pre-planning for final arrangements. If you want to ask questions about that, about decluttering or pre-planning, we are happy to answer it. The reason I offer that is sometimes it's not easy to find a place to ask about pre-planning for final arrangements, or it can feel like you're being pressured if you're talking to someone, but in a group of people, sometimes it's not quite as uncomfortable. So we do like to offer that opportunity to talk about that also. So I'm going to start by saying sooner or later, somebody is going to go through your stuff. Sooner or later, somebody is going to go through your stuff, and you probably want it to be you. Well, maybe not. You know, I've had clients who said, when I'm out of here, either move to a retirement community or you take me out the box, my kids can deal with it. I had to put up with all their stuff, so they're going to have to put up with all my stuff. But most of us tend to want to go through it. We want to see what's there. And so we're going to talk a little bit about how we can do that without completely overwhelming ourselves. I am going to start by suggesting, do not decide that I'm going to go into my basement and I'm going to stay down there until it's completely clean. Because what will happen is that you will go down into your basement, and somewhere around 2:30 in the afternoon, you're going to be sitting there with your eyes glazed over. You're going to have a whole bunch of piles around you. You're not going to remember what those piles are and why they're there. You're going to leave the basement, shut the door, and never go back. So don't do that to yourself. What I suggest is that you spend a small amount of time every day, 3 days a week, whatever, and do just a little bit. Not more than an hour. Get a timer if you need to time yourself to do it. But do one drawer, one cabinet, one shelf in a closet, and then stop. Just do a little bit at a time. Once you've done it, go back and open that drawer, that junk drawer, because I want to let you know a secret. Every house I've ever been in, and I've been in thousands of houses, has a junk drawer. If you don't, you get a prize. I don't know what the prize will be, but you get it. It'll be something that is disposable, easily disposable. So after you've cleared out that junk drawer, go back the next day, open it up, look inside it, and just sort of admire it and how lovely it is. And I'm going to give you a tip in a couple of minutes that you can use for junk drawers or a variety of other ways. But what happens is that our interests change over time, but we have difficulty sometimes getting rid of things. Now, if you are sentimental, if you're a sentimental person, I hate to tell you, it tends to be a little bit harder to get rid of stuff. If you're practical, it can be easier, although I did have one gentleman say to me that he was very practical. He was so practical that every time he found a ball of string, he knew he would need it in the future, so he put it with the other 19 balls of string that he already had. But generally, those of us who are sentimental have a little bit more trouble getting rid of stuff because everything we have tends to have meaning for us. You know, little Johnny's drawings that he did in first grade that we hung up on the refrigerator, and we put them up in the attic because sooner or later Johnny was going to want those. No, it doesn't. My parents were very kind. They kept a lot of things for my brother, my sister, and myself. And when we did clear out my father's house, I found our cards. I found my report cards going back to the first grade. At the time, I was probably in my mid-30s or so. Didn't even know they were there. And I found a bunch of other things that my parents had very thoughtfully set aside for me. The only thing that I can think of that I wish I had kept was there was an envelope with 5 checks in it. And I looked at them and couldn't figure it out, and finally realized they were the 3 checks for the birth of my sister, my brother, and myself, the first check for their home, and the first check they paid for a car. And that would have been sort of fun to keep. But I still have the memory. And really, most of the time when we keep things, we often keep them because we want the memory. But let's start by saying that sometimes our interests change. And we have to be willing to let those interests go when we are decluttering. So years ago, I bought a beautiful sweater pattern kit. It had great yarn in it. It was really a fine quality yarn. The pattern itself was gorgeous. I knitted the back of the sweater, and then I moved, and I moved, and I probably moved 6 or 7 times. And finally I thought, you know, I've got to get rid of that sweater. I'm not going to finish it. And then I moved at least 2 more times. And here I have for you the back of that sweater. I couldn't get rid of it because I put so much work in it. It was beautiful, and the yarn was really nice, and I should be able to do something with it. And so finally what I did was I cast it off and I use it as a prop. Someone suggested, why don't you make a pillow out of it? I'm never going to make a pillow out of it, I can promise you. But what you have to realize is that there are things that we have done that we've invested a lot in, and we can't get rid of them because we feel really connected to it. And we have to be able to let them go. So one of the best things that we can do is take a picture. If what you really want is the memory, take a picture and then let it go. And if you have a very clever young person who knows how to take those pictures and make some type of scrolling thing on your laptop or your tablet or whatever, have them do that, and that way you can have the memories come back. So if there are things that you want, so you have all of those little clay figurines that your children made when they were in the first grade that are still sitting around somewhere in your house, take a picture. I had a client I was working with, and we were sorting through her house, and I opened the end table, and inside was a Hummel figure in about 4 or 5 pieces. And I said, Mrs. Jones, what about this Hummel figure? Oh, we got that when we were traveling, blah, 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 blah. I said, well, what about this Hummel figure? What do you want me to do with it? I'm going to repair it. I said, how long has it been in the drawer? About 8 years. Now, Mrs. Jones was about to move to a retirement community, and she said she was going to repair it. Should we vote on whether or not she was going to repair it? No. She was not going to repair it. She wanted the memory. What she should do is line those little pieces up as best she could and take a picture. She just wanted to remember when she was traveling, what that meant to her, what the Hummel figure meant to her. Because she was probably not going to repair it. If she had repaired it, it would have no value other than the sentimental value. So take a picture, because that will give you the same thing. So you've decided that you're going to sort through, and you've picked out the drawer, the cabinet, the whatever that you're going to work on. So I have what I call 3 boxes in a bag. I do have another piece of got a flyer back there that they use, I think, what they call the 5-bin method. It's basically the same idea. 1 box is keep. That means it's going to go back into wherever you're working. It's going to go back into the junk drawer. The other box is donate, there's a sell, and then you have either trash or trash/recycle. Your trash bag needs to be a dark trash bag.
You can't see it.
So you can't see it. Because if you can see it, it will sing to you. It will say, take me back out of the bag, because you really don't want to get rid of me. Dark trash bag, get it out of the house as quickly as you can. If you have donations, get them out of the house as quickly as you can. Put them in your car. I'm a believer that you drop them off at the first place you go past. If though it's important to you to support a particular thrift store, donation place, then use that. But please try to get them out of sight as quickly as you can. If you are planning on having some type of sale, yard sale, estate sale, something like that, box it up and get it out of the way. And I'll talk a little bit about estate sales and yard sales in a few minutes. But you really just want it gone. Donate it as quickly as you can. If you have friends and family you're giving things to, give them away pretty quickly. One of the best things my parents did for us was that there were certain things that my brother, sister, and I wanted, and they gave them to us. You know, they didn't, whenever they felt they no longer needed them. They didn't wait until they were downsizing. They didn't wait until they passed for us to get them. So if you do have things that your family wants and you're ready to get rid of them, give them to them now. But make sure they pick them up. How many people here are thinking of maybe downsizing and moving to a smaller place? Okay. How many people here are thinking about downsizing and staying where they are living now? That's in the industry, that is called aging in place. When you downsize and stay where you are, which I find it funny because we are all aging in place right this minute, right now, every single one of us, but that's what it's called in the industry. So if, I lost my place. Oh well. So if you are planning on having some kind of sale, get it out of sight. If you're planning on moving, start thinking about what you might want to take with you, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So here are a couple of tips, and this tip can be used in a variety of ways. The first one is, how do you downsize your closet? Oh God. The reality is that most of us wear 25 to 35% of the clothes that we have. Most of us. So go into your closet. If everything is hanging this way, take it out and turn it around and hang it the other way. When you wear something, take it out of the closet, wear it, wash it, and put it back in the normal way. After about a month, look at what's still hanging backwards. That will tell